Okay, let me pop. All right, can you hear me now?
I can hear her through your phone.
Oh no. Okay. You guys, are
You
you?
must be muted, Mom.
Yeah, is there like a mute button?
No.
You must be muted on.
On
I
oh
wish I
my.
knew
Oh,
how to
there
switch.
you go. There you go.
Oh,
I'm okay. Yeah, I didn't have my microphone connected. All right. Well, let's start this over again and then I'll edit it back. Hey, you know what? I don't have my computer, Og.
where is it?
I have no idea. I think I left it home. I'm just trying to see everything on this tiny little phone. Is your mom
Do you
going to?
need my computer?
Hmm?
Do you need my computer?
Maybe if you can get YouTube and Facebook, I can switch back between the two, which would be very helpful. I'm so sorry. Let me start that again, you guys. Welcome and happy Monday. I am Lynn from L&J Goods. L&J Goods is a brick and mortar shop here in Medina, New York, and we are also at lnjgoods.com. So happy to have you here today. I have two little ornament projects today using the Victoriana mold and the Be Below's 2 mold, and I'm kind of excited about these because they are inspired by two of my favorite creators that I reached out to, and they were so excited that I was willing to share their beautiful projects with you today live and kind of create my own spin on those. So we have a lot to cover today, and I think we are also going to be doing these wonderful vintage bows. But hey, before I flip the camera down, I do want to let you know that there is a supply list linked in the description box below if you're on YouTube, or it's up above linked on Facebook. So sorry for the audio situation. I'll edit that later so that any of you watching on the replay are going to get all of this and not duplicate. All right. Augie is logging me on so that I can see, let's see if I can see any comment. Look at this tiny little phone. Let me see if I can find anything on here on this little phone. And I think Megan will be popping in. Let's look for L&J Goods right here on Facebook. Did you know that you can find us on all the social media platforms just by searching L&J Goods? We're the only ones. So there we are. We are live on L&J Goods on Facebook. And there we are. I can at least check there, but I see that there are some of you logging on, and that is wonderful. Okay, we've got lots of comments there probably saying there's no audio, no audio. Hi Dana, hi Terry, and Mary Casey. Oh, there's Terry again. Julie, Stacy, oh my gosh, I'm so excited too, you guys, to see all, I'm excited as you are to have been able to create these. So let's flip the camera down, see if I can do this. I see Terry is here. Now I feel like an enormous amount of pressure, but I think I might be able to do it. A is this, and then there's B. Hey, I did it. Let's flip it down. There we are. How about that? I love this because I feel like I can just talk to you guys. So that's really cool. All right, I have got a lineup here that you're not going to believe. And I will show you, and I'll talk to you about those creators a little bit later on so that I can share their information with you. Thank you, August.
Facebook's up there.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And we've got some folks popping on over on the YouTubes, of course. We always talk about those crazy YouTubers. They just keep things going on their own here. But since I think Megan's watching from home. I haven't seen her pop on yet, but you're welcome to, if you're on Facebook, if you need to answer a question for me, if I missed something, please feel free to go ahead and do that. Don't forget that we've got the great Nutcracker Challenge with Pentart, and oh boy, I cannot wait to share this week's video with you. It's a quick little, like, 1 minute video that I'll be sharing to ellenjgoods.com, or not to ellenjgoods.com, but to our Facebook, all of our socials. So you can kind of see what we're up to, and we're really having a lot of fun with this. And I think it's going to be even more fun the more we go on. I had David laughing his head off when he watched that video. So that's really cool. Okay, let's talk about what we're doing. I'm using the Victoriana mold and the Bibelots mold for both of these. Is anybody else having trouble saying the name Bibelot? Bibelots 2. This is an upgrade from the first Bibelot, which I think we might still have some of those in stock. And we're going to do one ornament, we're going to do an ornament that's layered using the Victoriana mold over a Bibelot's mold. It looks like this, and I want to bring this up nice and close. You can see that it is layered right on top of here, stacked right on top. Now, what I did to get it to conform to the shape of that curved surface is I took this out while it was, after it had just been casted. You know that resin, when it's first casted and just begins to pull away from the edge of the mold, it's really still very pliable. And so when it's pliable like that is when I want to add that over the top of this. Then what I do, and I'm going to show you, because I have a couple of other little pieces here that I have cast with resin to work on the second ornament, which is also going to include ephemeral melange, a little piece from that. It made me fall in love with ephemeral melange all over again. So I just, while they're soft, I use these little pinch clamps to conform them to the shape of that Bibelot's mold, and I did the same thing here. Then when I was ready to glue them, especially this one, especially this guy, I used the Pentart Heavy Body Gel. Okay, I used Heavy Body Gel, and then applied this. It was already had kind of the curve, that concave curve to fit over Bibelot. And then I used clamps to hold it in place, let it dry for 24 hours. These are both treated or primed with our Pentart bonding primer. So I just dabbed that on. And then what I did on this one is I gave it a base coat of our Fusion Snowdrop. We're going to be adding some other mediums to this as we go on, but that's the prep that I did for all of this. I have done 2 of these because I would love to put these back to back. I think it is such a charming look to have that back to back, and it gives you all of this surface to play with as well. I won't be adding anything to this, but oh my goodness, you could add another mold back here. I think I'm just going to paint mine with gold. And then this guy, here's the Victoriana mold. You want to know how I get my stuff, my resin in there? It's I use a little, where did I put them? I use a little dropper. You can get them on Amazon. They're just like a little pipette that you can pull up just a little bit of that resin, and I find it so much easier to use that to just fill all these teeny tiny molds. So then I don't have that humped back. I have more control that way. But you know, you use your own technique, whatever works for you. I'm going to pull this a little bit, rearrange here, and let's check in. Good afternoon, Anna, over on YouTube, and you shared. Thank you so much. There is Lynn. So excited to see new ornaments. I'm in the middle of making some. That's very exciting because we're doing an ornament extravaganza with Ellen J. Goods. It doesn't mean that every week I'll be sharing ornaments, but a lot of these weeks I will be, up until we go live. Or I'm sorry, up until Christmas. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm reading comments and I'm trying to answer, talk to myself at the same time, or talk to you and myself. Who knows? I don't know. But I got a whole series of ornaments lined up. So this little guy, I did not glue these down yet. So let me pop those off. Okay, so it is conformed. It has cured and hardened to be the shape of my ornament, my bibelot. And then we've got this one, same thing. These are really delicate, especially these. I already snapped the end off of one. So be careful. I gotta do this really carefully. So when I applied the bonding primer, I did that over the weekend so that these are all ready to go. And you know, if you know, you know, Pentart bonding primer is my very favorite Pentart product, along with the Pigment Fix and the metal pigments. So see how that conformed to the shape? And it's easy to do if you're working with resin. Of course, you can work with clay as well. All right, so what we have, let's go ahead and do this one first. And I am going to go ahead and clear this off, my big mess here. And I'll be sharing that aged bow project as well, interspersed, because we have to allow some time for that to, you know, to boil in the microwave and all that. So I've got some different stages of those ribbons going on, and I know that a lot of you were really excited to see how I did that. Okay, so here is Bibelot's 2, the front side. Let's get that painted with Country Blue Pentart acrylic paint. I thought this was so pretty. The person that originally did this and then allowed me so generously to share this project, her name is Rebecca Rainey. And I don't have the link for her, but R-E-B-E-K-A-H, Rainey, R-A-I-N-E-Y. And I think I saw this in the tribe, and then I reached out to her, and she was so sweet to say, of course you may share it. Oh, which is awesome. I love that. So we're going to get a coat on this of that country blue. And we'll let that dry. So I'm going to work between these two ornaments and also on that bow, because I know you want to see that. Believe it or not, like, these are pretty quick and easy to do. There is some detail, but I would rather not show you all of my base coating and painting and priming and all of that stuff. So we're just going to keep it easy for you, all right? Okay, so this will probably need another coat, at least around the edges where the transfer will not be evident. Hey, wouldn't that look pretty as well? Like if I did the back of it and chose a little gold transfer, because there's a lot of gold happening here. Let's do that. And that'll kind of make it my own. Oh, let's see. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hello, Donna. Hi from Texas. Hello, Cheryl. And let's see. I don't know if Megan is Megan on? That is a pretty color blue. This country blue is so lovely. But even though it's highly pigmented, a lot of times if you're painting over white or painting with a contrasting color, of course, you're going to need a couple of coats. So, Megan, could you get me some water, please? Because I don't have any. Oh my gosh. And I don't think Augie is still here. All right, so we'll let those dry. How about that? And then I am going to talk to you about, you know what I got to do? I got to empty my Mr. because I don't hear August. Og could have gotten me my water. My goodness. I am just not with it today. Let me just get a little bit in here. All right. Put that aside so I don't have a disastrous spill on my hands, right? Okay. Are you guys totally into some Christmas ornament making? I bet you are. You're probably, those of you that do like crafting and do shows and all that, you're already, you got this. You've been doing this for 2 months now. Oh my goodness, look at all of you over there. Hello, everyone. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, lots of you there. Thank you so much for joining. Hey, while you're over there live, Miss Terry Lightsey reminded us that you can also, how do you boost that post, Terry, if you're still here? What do we do? I saw it the other day when I was watching a video. You have the option of, oh, it's not a boost. I'm not sure what it's called. But you'll have to, yeah, Terry, if you're here, let us know what that is. I don't know if you're on Facebook or YouTube, but I can't remember the name of it. So there you go. Okay, now let's let that dry and let's talk about those wonderful ribbons that I have done with an age technique. I kind of used some of Vetta's techniques. I did a little of my own. And let me get our ornament from last week to show you. Hold on. I posted this morning, but this is the finished Wedgwood style ornament that we did that was the heart shape. But look at that bow. I am fascinated and obsessed with the bows like this. I see them all over those European makers that are doing those fabulous old world style ornaments. Oh my gosh, I love them so much. I love them. Okie dokie. So I'm going to show you how it's done. Now, this is just a satin ribbon. This is a double face satin ribbon right here. You can use a single face satin ribbon. This one, I don't think this is silk. I think this is rayon, but you can use anything like that. And here is how I do it. I want to choose this, I kind of get an idea of how big I want my bow. So I would do this, okay? So say I wanted my bow approximately this size. I'm going to leave myself a nice tail because remember, they're going to crinkle up. And then I can always trim this later on, which I will. All right, and I also have one prepped and ready to show you, I hope, wherever it is. This is a velvet. These are our velvet ribbons with the little gold trim, so I wanted to try that as well. And yep, I've got, let's see, oh, I don't know where I put it. It's here somewhere, I hope. And I have a gold one also somewhere. This is the gold one. All right. Okay, so this is how I prepare it. I'm going to take this right out of its bow. I have some string here that I'm going to use. And all I'm going to do is begin to just fold this up, crinkle it up. And yeah, these double-faced satin ribbons they can get a little tricky to hold in your hands, but I'm just going to try the best I can to really just scrunch that up so you can see I'm kind of folding it accordion style, and then I'm holding it in my hand, hoping it doesn't fall apart on me. And then I'm going to take a piece of string. And let's wrap. I'm going to start a wrap. I'm going to leave one end a tail, but I'm just going to get this started right now to kind of hold everything in place. And you can see it scooched out the side there, but that's okay. I'm going to now wrap this way, and I'm going to continue to wrap this into a tight little ball, as tight as I can get it. Doggone it, where did my little velvet one go? I wonder if it's still back at the sink. It could be. All right, so you see what I'm doing? I'm just pulling it nice and tight. Of course, the more string you get on there, then the easier it is to manipulate this whole shebang here. And I'll wrap it a few times, pull it tight. Whoops! And then it pops out of your hand. Yes, that happened to me so many times. But it is quite a little bundle to handle here. Okay. Will the Pigment Fix be back in stock soon? Thank you for asking. I know Megan reminded me. The palette from Hungary has been received. It's in the US. We're just waiting for it to get here. You know how it is. Sometimes it just is it's a process. So yes, Pigment Fix will be back soon. So if you are looking for it on our website, just be sure to hit that back in stock notification on the website, and then when we get it loaded in, we will you'll get an email saying that it's back in stock. Okay, so here's my little ball of ribbon. There it is. See? And is Megan here? I don't know if she's here. She might be. Terry says, "You got this?" Yeah, I hope so, Terry. Oh my goodness. Yeah, leave me on my own and look at what I do. How wide is this ribbon? This is about 1 inch. This is about 1 inch wide, okay? I got to get this over more because I keep going out of camera. This is about 1 inch wide. All right, so then what we do is I pop it into some hot water. Okay, hot water, and I just threw mine in the microwave, and I microwaved it, let it boil for a couple minutes, maybe not even, maybe a minute and a half, and that's going to really set all of those little creases in place. So I would run this one back, pop it in the microwave, and set it for, you know, a couple of minutes. You're gonna know your microwave is gonna be different from mine. Mine's an old one, so it takes a little longer for everything. But when you pull it out after it has been boiling for a while, I pull it out and I am going to really squeeze the dickens out of this, try to get as much moisture out of this as possible. And this one I already did, but it's still wet. This is like a 1 inch. This one's this was like 1.5 inches. I just found this piece of satin ribbon down in my stash. But most of us that are creative and have been doing this for a long time, you know, we've got this kind of stuff, right? So then I'm going to take my heat gun and I'm going to start to dry this. It really does not take very long at all. I wish I could find my little velvet. I was dying to see the experiment with that. I'm sure it's in the back. I might have to run back there and grab it. So, as we're going to dry this, and then as it begins to dry on the outside, I'm going to begin to unwrap and unwind this ribbon. Or not the ribbon. I'm going to start to unwrap and unwind the string. Is Terry Lightsey? Oh, hi Megan. Is Terry Lightsey still here? I think I have a live with Terry coming up in November sometime. I'm going to have to look at my calendar. And I have a project already, Terry. I don't have to pull anything out of my hat. So I am going to be like sharing a few other types of projects in for holiday. Not all ornaments, but primarily we're going to be focused on ornaments from now until close to the holidays. but we'll do a few other things as well, and that'll be fun. Okay, so let me snip the ribbon here. And I'm going to put this into a little short video that I'll put on Facebook and YouTube to show you how this is done. Okay, so there it is. Look at that. See how that is all crinkled up. Actually, it's pretty dry. It's still a little wet. So you just keep it kind of crinkled like this. Keep it crinkled up. And then slowly release it, just so it keeps wrinkled, but we want to make sure that all of it is dried. You could also just leave this to dry on its own, but the heat really does help to set these ribbon crinkles in place. Okay, so there's one. All right, so then I would just lay this aside. This is a nice wide one. I won't be using that today, but we are going to use this blue one. I have one already prepped, but I do want to show you some fun things that we're going to use to add a little bit more aging and texture to that. Hi, Sandy. Megan is, Mom, she's yelling, sorry, I'm focusing on my project. Sorry. Okay, why don't I let this sit for a minute? I told you we're going to be kind of jumping all over the place, but I want to get a second coat of that Pentart Country Blue paint on here so we don't waste any time. Do you guys create like this too? JR always wonders, like, I think you should just start one project and then finish it, and then you can start another one. I don't know what world he's living in, but do any of us do that? You know why? Because I'm thinking, okay, while this is drying, I can be prepping something else. Does it save time? I don't know. That's a really good question. I've never done a time study, so yeah, it's just the way I roll, and I think it's the way we all roll as creatives. I know when we do camp, I always try to make sure that we got to do all the things at once. Like, okay, we're going to do all these projects, but we're going to base coat all of them right now. And I kind of try to plan out so that we maximize our time on projects, and then they all come together at the end. And I love that. It's so fun. This is a pretty, pretty blue. Okay, so we've got the front and back done for this ornament. That'll dry shortly, probably dry while I am finishing this, drying this guy. Just be careful with your fingers so close, obviously. So I want to get the outside of this little bundle of joy. It really did bring me great joy when I finished this and put it on this ornament. So I want it to be dry as I can. Okay, any other questions? Silly JR, I know, Terry Lindgren, you're right. Tracy, it is a beautiful, beautiful color, isn't it? I love unexpected colors for Christmas too. What are you guys decorating? So when you're decorating your home, and I'm getting ready to do that, and typically I either go very like neutral vibe, which goes with the cottage, or I do like to do more of a retro kind of look. I know my husband always loves that. I do too, actually. This year I did put my inspiration board in the insider group to show you what I was thinking about. Right now I'm trying to decide if I really need to go on eBay and get 12 ornaments for $125 plus shipping. Probably not. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna have to somehow figure it out. And if you're in the insider group, you know, right? But it all was spurred on by a couple of antique signs that we found while we were in the Adirondacks. Okay, let's see how this is looking. All right, so I'm going to snip this ribbon. I did just have my scissors right here. There they are. Right under the heat gun. Where else would they be? So I'll start to release this from its torturous string. Okay. And then I'll continue to dry this. This is such a fun technique. Oh my gosh. I was so excited. You know, I love an antique look. I love that vintage, rugged, rustic, looks like it's been around forever and ever look. And so, yeah, this made me really happy. Now all I want to do is do ribbons. Barbara Ernie, I find that women are better at multitasking than some men. It comes from working, kids, running a household. Barbara, I agree. You know what, any of us that have had children, and I always say, man, I was able to master the art of like talking on the telephone, nursing a baby, washing the dishes all at the same time, right? That's what we do. While you have a toddler or a 5-year-old grabbing at you, wanting your attention for something. Somehow we get it done. Somehow we get dinner on the table after all that. At the time of day when the baby is the fussiest. Ugh. Oh, those days. Okay, let's unwind the rest of this. And we're going to stretch it out just a little bit. Let's get this dry. As dry as we can right now. But see how I'm keeping it kind of scrunched up while I continue to dry it? All right, now we'll set that aside. Let me put this in a safe place so I don't burn myself. Actually, it's pretty dry right now, but we'll get back to that. All right, let's take a look at these guys. Now, for this one, for this ornament, we are going to apply a transfer. Now, my bow is going to sit here. We're going to be using some Pentart pigment fix and metal pigment, my antique gold metal pigment. I know it's out of stock right now. Again, that palette is coming, but it'll be here soon, I guarantee it. So make sure you hit that back in stock notification. So we'll be doing pigment fix on those. And then here is this beautiful little piece that Rebecca used on hers. So I'm going to kind of position this. And then this will wrap up like that. This will go at the top. So yeah, this is right where I want it. I just want to make sure it's pretty generally. You're okay, Og. Let's pull it down just a touch. I'm just kind of looking to see that it's pretty well centered, and I think it is. So we'll get that on there. Bum, ba-da-bum, bum, bum, bum. Get my little, put my little tool here, and let's get that on. Praying my paint is on there good enough because I really haven't let this. You want to make sure your paint is super dry, really dry, before you begin to apply a transfer. And these are pretty good. So remember, I treated all of these, or primed all of these with the Pentart Bonding Primer. Okay. So there it is. Look at how pretty. I'm going to burnish that. I do that with my hands on a small piece, or you can just take the backing of the shiny, slipperier part backing of the transfer and rub that all down so we make sure that's completely covered. I'm not going to base coat this yet, or I mean put a cover over that yet, a top coat over that yet, because I want to get this, glued, I think, first. So let's do that right now. I'm just going to use my heavy body gel from Pentart. Tappity tap, tap, tap. Where is my heavy body gel? I know it's here somewhere, right in front of me, right in front of my face. So let's get that on there first. Get these two glued together. So Rebecca Rainey, thank you again so much for allowing me to share this beautiful project.
Shannon wants you to show your nutcracker progress. She's trying to get a hold of you.
Oh, Shannon wants me to show the progress? Shannon, are we doing this on Mondays? Is that what we're doing? Okay, I'll show the nutcracker progress soon, in a minute. Let her know in a minute. I thought it was going to be on Wednesday, Shannon. Are you trying to get some inside information that you shouldn't have yet? That's what I want to know. Okay, let's put these back to back. I love the Be Below 2 because it has the little hanger right on there. So I want to get these all lined up. This is where too you can use the clamps if you want to hold this in place, just so it doesn't move around on you. Q-tip, my Q-tips. Let me get my precision tip cotton swabs. Make sure I've got all of that removed from in here. What a sweet little project. And I think what I'm going to do, just so this holds together, I'm going to put a clamp on that. Make sure that that is perfectly lined up. It squeezed a little bit of heavy body gel out. That's okay. I just want to make sure that it is absolutely lined up. These things can really shift around on you. And dang, no matter how I try to get that on there, maybe I don't need quite so powerful of a clamp. That might be it. Let's get that cleaned out. Maybe it doesn't need a clamp. It looks like it's really holding nicely. When I put that heavy clamp on there, it wants to kind of slide this a little bit. So we're just going to leave this like it is for now. Let's just put that aside. Make sure. Okay. And we'll get back to that. All righty. Shannon, it's going to have to wait till the end because I can't move my camera right now. I want to get this. Yes, nothing scheduled today. Oh, is that right? Hi, Rebecca. Oh my goodness, Rebecca, we so appreciate you allowing us to share this project. I thank you so much. Thank you. What mold are you using for those small pieces? Okay, Miss Donna Hudson, the Victoriana mold has these tiny little pieces. See this? This is actually this little wreath right here, and while this was warm, I stretched it out to fit the shape of this transfer, right? And then we'll glue that on. We're going to paint these up with gold in just a minute. Okay. 4:45 a.m. Where are you, Rebecca? Okay, now let's go back to this guy. We're gonna do, I'm not gonna glue these together yet. I'm looking at my time. I wanna make sure that we get through these. And what I wanna do is, because I'll be doing this in gold and this in gold, but I do wanna continue that blue theme. Kind of like that Wedgwood theme. I think it's a really pretty little collection of ornaments that we can do. So this was inspired by Chrissy Morgan. Chrissy, I emailed her and she was so lovely and was very excited and happy that I would choose her project to share with you today. Of course, I'm, making a few little modifications, but I think it's going to be so pretty. I can't wait. So Chrissy Morgan, and she is Colorful Home Designs, and Chrissy is in Pennsylvania, as I recall. All right, so let me think of how I want to do this. This is going to be a little tedious. I'm glad it's a very small project, but I think we can get her done. So I'm getting out my tiny, tiny little detail brushes, if I can find them here, because I am going to need to paint around the white. Isn't that something? Let's see. I might get out a watercolor brush, since it happens to be right here. Nice fine tipped watercolor brush. Now, okay, you guys, are you going to be ready to do this? I don't know if I am. I'm sitting down. My hands get a little shaky, but all I'm doing is I am painting just around this mold, or the little design in the middle. And I guess the trick is to not get too much paint on your brush. And I'm using Fusion. Fusion has a built-in top coat. And the Pent Art that I used is an acrylic paint. Look at the details in that. Oh my gosh. So hopefully I can quickly get this done so that you can see how pretty of an effect this is by painting that negative space. You're in South Australia? Oh, Rebecca, we have so many wonderful friends from Australia. I would love to visit there someday. I really would. Has anybody that is watching, have you ever been to Australia? It's so vast. It's such a huge, huge continent. tiny little brushes. Now this might not be for everybody, but you could also, instead of hand painting this little negative space, you could also do kind of the same thing we did with this one. You could just make a glaze and do that over the top, but I did like the fact that this creates a really lovely kind of matte finish in here. When I saw these, they just reminded me of the most beautiful like candies. I can't explain it, but like they would be beautifully decorated chocolates or something. This may need 2 coats, but I'm not going to bore you with that. I just want to give you this beautiful effect. And I can always come back in later and add a second coat. I can also come back in and touch up any little spots where I might have gotten onto the florals with the paint that I used to base coat. And that was Snowdrop. Snowdrop, yep. And I can see that I'll need a little touch up. Of course, you know, I'm kind of rushing a little bit, you think? So you're probably not going to get the prettiest, most perfect result by watching me do this. But look how that stands out. Oh my gosh. And then we're going to put some gold on there. It'll be so pretty. I should have. Yeah. See, I just put it in my mouth, you guys. I forget that I've got this camera angle now so you can see it all. Oh, come on, like you don't do that too, right? Once I put a sealer over this, all of my germs will be sealed in place. Don't you love pink and gold together? Oh my gosh, I do. And I dare say, Rebecca, you are in summer in Australia, aren't you? You are having your Christmas. Your Christmas will be warm and so warm. Okay. Last night, the kids, four grandchildren in marching band, so they were all at their field band competition last night in Syracuse, so that's a few hours away. It's a late night, and Megan chaperones, Megan and David, so for her it was a very late night. That's why she's not here today. Okay, almost. And since this is an ornament series, we might have to finish this one. We might have to finish this one on Wednesday. Or at least I'll finish the painting, and then we can just do the little details. The painting of the gold. We'll see. What time is it? Oh, I got 9 minutes. Can I do it? Look how pretty. Isn't that beautiful? When you look at it from a little bit of a distance, it really is such a lovely effect. think that's what I love so much about IOD. It's like you can work on the tiniest sweet little pieces like this, or you can use IOD on furniture, and it's whatever excites you about making. You can, I mean, we've done jewelry to giant armoires. Okay, so I don't know if you can see, but there are a few spots that I will need to touch up, just because. But that's okay. I can do that later, but I'll do probably 2 coats on this anyway. Then I'll come in with that snowdrop and just touch up any tiny little spaces. But it's really very, very pretty, isn't it? It's such a pretty effect. Oh, thank you, Anna. Thank you so much. It is pretty. Such a pretty look. Okay. One thing that I did forget to put on the supply list for Megan was a little bit of Fusion Fresco. I'm going to grab that right now because I do want to create a little texture around the outside. To me, it made it look kind of like, almost like sugar, like a little bit of sugar. So I just need a tiny bit of that out. And I'm going to use the snowdrop. I'm almost to the end of this, so let's get some of that out. The other thing is when you're working with these small projects, I love using these small little amounts. So I'm going to just mix a little Fresco into this, just so I get some texture. And after I get that on, we will go back to our ribbon. And then I'm going to show you how we finish these off with some gold. Okay, let me grab a little brush. And I want this kind of around the outside here. Yeah, these just remind me of like little candies or something. Little sweet little pastries or so what Rebecca did, when she did her one with the ephemeral melange, on the back, she didn't do a 2-sided ornament like this. She just did a flat one, and then I believe she stamped the ephemeral, what was it? The typography, ephemeral typography. Rebecca, if you're still there, please tell us what stamp you used on the back. But I thought you could use the music notes. There's so many different ones that you could use. In fact, I pulled out the waltz thinking I was going to do that, and then I thought, no, I'm going to make mine a little different. I am going to definitely make mine with 2 of the Be Below molds. Let's see that texture. Can you see that, you guys? Okay, I think that is good. And in fact, Chrissy also just did hers flat. She painted the back and then stamped the back as well. but IOD has lots of options for smaller scale stamps that you could add. Okay, so let's set that aside to dry as well. And I'm going to use another part of my palette here to just mix up a little bit of pigment fix. And then we'll get back to our, because I do want you to see how pretty this is. Then we'll do our ribbon. Or maybe we'll have to finish the ribbon on Monday. What do you think, you guys? You want me to keep going? You want me to... You let me know. Oh, you used ephemeral type, yes. All right, let's see. Okay, so I'm not even going to mix this with a palette knife. I'm just going to dip a little bit of this with my brush into this because I need so little. Let me mix that up. This is antique gold. I know we can't get that pigment fix here fast enough because look at my jar is almost empty. I don't know how I'm going to do that nutcracker if I don't have any pigment fix. Let's get that all mixed up. Oh my gosh, that is so glorious. Okay, and I'm going to paint these little guys. And this stuff literally sticks to everything, I'm telling you right now. Look at how beautiful that is. I'm so curious, do you guys like working on small projects or larger projects? I have just been getting a kick out of doing these small ones. It's a fun way to try a new technique or try a new product. We had a lady in the shop yesterday who drove a couple of hours to get here. She was so excited that she could find someone who had pent art, and she told me that she had always just gotten hers from Europe. So it was so fun to chat with her about all things pent art and learn about even things that I've never used before. So that was neat. Okay, that is still drying. I don't want to mess with that, but let's get this done. Now I have to sit down and really concentrate here. Don't we love the tops of these now? I don't want to waste my pigment fix. I think I'm going to use a gloss top coat over this. What a difference. How pretty is that? So pretty. Okay, we'll set that aside to dry. I don't want to do the gold. Well, I can do, let's see, I can do that gold. But I'm going to do gold on this as well. I think I'll have to do that off camera because my pigment or my fresco and paint is still drying. But I'll show you on Wednesday, how that came together. I'm not going to lick my Q-tip now since I'm working with metal. I might be able to show you. Let's see. Like how pretty that will be. But you can see I have to really concentrate on this. Me concentrate? But so that will get all to be all gold. So you get the idea, right? You get the idea. Come back to that. Okay, let's let this dry for a minute. Give that a minute or so to dry. And then we will move on to our ribbon. I'm going to show you how I aged this ribbon. Let me pop these aside to dry. Shannon, I think I'm just going to have to share my my reel that I did, my little short video, and then Wednesday maybe we can pop in, and then I'll have something more interesting to share. I guess I want to say it'll be a little more interesting because right now it doesn't look like much. Okay. All right, this is going to require some gloves. Let me grab my gloves. Where are my gloves? Oh, you guys, I'm telling you, I am a lost cause here. Did I share them for my workshop? Oh, there they are, right in front of my eyes. This requires some gloves. And I have a little surprise at the end. Okay. I'm going to take this. Here's my piece. I am going to dip my fingers right into this acrylic paint. Get them nice and goopy. And then I am just going to scrunch that all into here just with my fingers. And it's just going to give it a little bit of a kind of a dusty look. And that'll be a little more evident when you, like I might do this a few times. Just depends on the amount of like dustiness that you want. But because it's going to absorb, that paint is going to absorb a little bit into your ribbon as well. But see that? Look at, can you see that, you guys? That dusty quality that it brings. Okay, then I will let that dry. That is going to stiffen, that's going to stiffen up this bow right here. It's going to stiffen it up. And then I'll tie it into a bow, as I would with a bow, or with the ribbon like this. See, I would tie it into a bow. Now, let me show you. Guess what we have? Do you guys remember the tinsel tree that I did? That viral tinsel tree that got so many outrageously negative comments? Remember that? And remember how we used the Media Mist in the antique gold? Well, we have uncovered a whole batch of these, and they are on the website now. So some of you that may have watched that reel and put in a notification for when these were back in stock, you might be getting those. You might be. But I found a way to use this that I thought was just so pretty. So you shake it up. It's got the little ball in there to make sure that it's completely mixed. And then I'm going to, let me get you nice and close here. I am going to spritz it right onto my bow. And it's going to just give it a little bit of shimmer. Do you see that? Isn't that so cool? You could also take gold paint and rub it on there, but I just thought this was, I love the antique gold. I just love the effect that it gives. See that? I love it. I think that that is so pretty. And then I would let this dry and then hot glue this right onto my ornament. Let me dry this and I'll kind of show you what that is going to look like if I were to use that, say, on this ornament. Okay. It is a satin ribbon. But somewhere in this, in L&J Goods, I have the velvet ribbon that I also experimented with. Okay. Off you go. So that is the antique gold in the Pentart Medium Mist. This has been discontinued. I don't think we can get any medium mix anymore, so just know that. Let me put that aside. And then let's get these guys on here. I'm not going to glue these now because I am going to use my heavy body gel. And that will sit like that. My little bow will sit up here like this. Isn't that glorious? Rebecca Rainey, you are a creative genius. This is beautiful. I'm going to put a gloss over top of this. And I think that is such a beautiful, beautiful use of the ephemeral. Let me grab it. The ephemeral melange transfer. There are so many little pieces in here that you could do for ornaments, especially for those that love like garden. And you know, if you've got somebody special that would appreciate this, I just think that these little elements, I never would have thought of it, Rebecca. So pretty. But I'll be gluing all of these off camera. I'm putting a gloss coat of paint over this, and like I said, I think I might even add an IOD gold transfer on the back. I think that would tie it all together since mine is a two-sided piece. And there you go. I think that's going to do it for today. So let me get myself back up here and talk to you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out here with us. Really appreciate it. And I hope you are inspired to do something really lovely with your Victoriana mold and the Be Below 2 mold. So we want to thank Chrissy from Colorful Home Designs and Rebecca Rainey from Australia for allowing me to share these beautiful, beautiful projects with you guys today. So I hope that you'll try something like this for yourself. All right, guys, we will see you on Wednesday, and I'll have these finished up and then show you a pretty glamour shot of all of those, all right? Have a lovely rest of your day, and we'll see you on Wednesday.